What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to G-Ball Vision. Thank you for stopping in. Today I have another exciting unboxing to dig into for you guys. Before we get started, double check and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I would love to have you here. And before you head out, do me a huge favor, hit the thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it, everyone. It really helps get the videos pushed out there so more people can check them out. And feel free to let me know what you are carrying in your pockets today down in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. So we have a knife coming in from Harnds. Huge shout out to them for sending this along for us to take a look at, and I'm really excited to get into this one. This is a model that I've never checked out, and for a fact, I actually just recently saw this knife for the first time, and I was like, man, I never seen that model before, and I don't think it's not a really new model. But it's just one that all the times I've looked at their knives, I'm a pretty big fan of Harnds and their knives. They offer a lot for a little bit of money. They have a ton of value when it comes to their knives, in my opinion. So we are looking at the Harnds Giant Silkworm. And this is going to be a textured G10 variant with a crossbar lock. And look at that texture, guys. So each individual ripple actually it's basically an individual ripple. It's got this ripple effect all up and down the handle. You might be able, there you go, look at it right there. Boy, that camera does a solid job. Look at them ripples. And it gives it a nice bit of texture. This is kind of like a green and black Damascus. Looks really good. Little bit of jimping there. 2 standoffs, so we have flow-through construction here. Dual thumb studs. Jimping is going to run back into that jimping there. So you have a nice string of jimping. Nice fine jimping here. And we're going to be looking at a satin finished clip point style of blade. And it's going to be coming in, guys, 14C28N, baby. Yes. They offer a lot for the money. I'll look up and see what these are retailing for because it changes. Sometimes they have coupons and stuff like that. I'll look right now what they are going for, and I'll leave a link down in the description. It is not an affiliate link. It's just so you can head over there, check out what Harnds has, check out this knife. There's a bunch of different variations that you can pick from, and I just thought it was a really cool looking knife. I don't get a ton of clip point blades. I just don't get to check many out, and I don't buy a whole lot, but I love clip points. That was the very first blade shape I fell in love with as a kid, was the clip point style of blade in a folder or a fixed blade. So there's a special place in my heart for clip point style of blades. Now let's get our issuing stitches Hank out here, and we'll see what this thing looks like in the pocket. It does have a pretty nice deep carry clip there. Very standard. Actually, I don't mind this clip at all. We'll get to a few changes I would like to see here at the end of the video. There will be a little tiny bit poking out, but not much at all. Well under that 1/2 inch that I look for. Good retention on this thing. And then the other cool thing is it's going to be reversible as well. So they nail that. Great job on their end. As far as the springs in there and the action. So here, take a look at this. See that blade snap down into the handle from about 1/4 of the way down? That's a tall tale sign right there. That's the best way for me to show you through the video. I can tell you till I'm blue in the face, but when I do this and you see that handle or that knife slap down into the handle like that, that's telling you and me that the springs in there are pretty good to really good. And then the other way is, you see how the blade wants to pull back down into the handle nice and snappy like to a certain degree. that's also another sign that the springs are pretty good in there. And in the case of this knife, they feel pretty strong. And I can also tell you that it feels like the tolerances in there are pretty tight as well. Basically, this needs a little bit of break-in and maybe a dab of oil, but that's neither of those things are bad things. A little bit of break-in is good. That means you have very nice tight tolerances. That's what you want. And I would rather my knife come dry and be able to put my own, drop or two of oil around the pivot or wherever, right? Then have it come just coated in oil leaking out of the bag, because it's happened. And if you're around long enough, or if you've been around, it's probably happened to you at some point in time or another. So I'd rather it come completely dry, nice and tight tolerances, be able to put my own drop or two of lube in there and continue on. The blade is nice and centered. And like I said, them springs are nice. Thumb studs are going to be your standard studs there, just a stepped design. And the same on that crossbar lock as well. You can see that kind of stepped and temple design, which means there's pretty good protrusion there. So they'll be easy to get to, easy to disengage as well. I can feel it kind of breaking in as I continue flicking this open and close. So I'm telling you what, guys, if, not everyone is going to be in the market for, this price point, and that's fine. And some people, don't want to spend this amount of money. So everyone is going to be different, and I try to cover as much stuff as I can. The people who have been around know that. I'll try to get down as low as I can and up as high as I can, because I want to try to provide, as many options in as many areas as I can. And for a lot of my viewers, this is a really good price point. And right now, currently, right before I started the video, I looked to double check, and I'm not seeing this one. So maybe these ones are coming back into stock. But they do have 3 or 4 other variations in stock right now, and they're going to be coming in at $37.99, which, in my opinion, is absolutely wonderful for the materials and the build that you're going to be getting with these knives. And, I brought out the telephone book paper here because the last couple that I've gotten, I got 1 or 2 as a gift, and that's how I found out about Harnds. And ever since then, I've been a big fan of their knives. They have some really cool designs. They're really affordable, and they just plain work. And they've all come with really nice edges right out of the box, and this is going to be the same exact thing. And I'm just noticing that sharpening choil could almost double as kind of like not a full choil. I mean, I don't know that I'd want to choke all the way up into there, but as far as maybe like putting about, down to the first knuckle or so in there for a little bit lighter type cutting, I could definitely see that, and it would work easily. You wouldn't have to worry about getting up on the corner of that blade, but I wouldn't go too much further than that unless you are really paying attention and you're doing something, very light duty. The other thing is you'll be able to put your middle fingertip in there and get your index up on the tip of that knife and use that belly, use that tip in certain instances. Now, it is going to be a little bit higher than a standard, drop point, Wharncliffe. So it's going to be a little bit higher. This is a little bit different of a knife than just a standard utility style knife. And there's a fly in here that I'm going to cut in half with this if I get a chance. So, clip points, they're still very, very useful in my opinion, because you do get a nice little bit of straight edge here, which is going to be great for certain slicing tasks. Then you have a little bit of belly. which is going to be good for certain things, right? And then you still do maintain a nice pokey tip with these. Although it is a little bit higher, it can still be used with the right placement of the hand and the finger. You can still use that tip. You'll just be a little bit higher. Instead of being a little bit lower with your wrist, you'll be a little bit higher. Not a big deal at all, in my opinion, and this is nice and pokey. I guess the last step is to check this crossbar lock and see what kind of adversity we can place upon it. So we'll go ahead and we'll get the old spine whacker out, and we'll see what this thing is made of here. There's no up and down. And if I really wrench on it, I can get it to move a little bit. But that is going to be the nature of a crossbar lock. Sometimes they're just going to have a little bit of movement. That is just how it goes. That's how the crossbar meets up with the tang. Sometimes there is a little bit of rocking, but that's not a cause for concern in my experience. I believe to this day I've only had one crossbar lock fail, and I don't even consider that a failure. It was a rushed test, and the knife only did it that one time. So it led me to that knife not being locked out the way that it should be. I don't even disclose the knife anymore because it only happened that one time, and I think it was a fluke. It was not locked up. Something was not right. And we have another solid crossbar lock, another solid Harnds coming in. So what are the couple of nitpicks I would have? And it's basically been the same since I got the Talisman, which was the first Harnds knife that I ever found out about. It was a gift. And I fell in love with it and everything they offered at that price point. There's a couple of very small things, nothing that makes or breaks the knife, but some stuff that may take the knife to the next level as far as aesthetics and carryability. So the first thing is going to be, we already have the beautiful H on the pivot there. I don't think there should be any more branding on the knife or on the blade, period. The H on the pivot, I think, looks awesome, and I think that should do it. So as far as the Harnds on the front there with the logo yet again, and then here on the pocket clip, I think the knife would look so much better without that on there. But with that being said, for 38 bucks, I'm not really going to harp on that too much. We see it all the time from many companies. It's just something I would like to see them, change in the future because they got such a great looking pivot. I think they should just stick with that and, run with it. The other thing is going to be, I love that they told us for lefty carry and give our lefty brothers a chance to carry this as well. They recessed the clip, which is great. Love it. Now, just use some flat top screws. Recess them screws into that pocket clip. The pocket clip is fine. I do not mind this clip at all. It functions well, and it's ergonomically comfortable as well. I don't feel that in my hand or bothering my hand at all. So, pocket clip is fine. Recess them screws and get rid of the branding. And man, for under 40 bucks, and there's often times where you can get these with a coupon code as well to knock them down into like the low 30s. And to get 14C and textured G10, a good, well done crossbar lock with a deep carry reversible clip for under 40 bucks. I would say that is a solid deal. And in my experience with the several Harnds I've had and checked out now, they make a very solid knife. You're getting a lot of bang for your buck. And I believe they run their 14C at 58 to 60 or 59 to 61, which I believe both of which are going to be fine. 14C has one of the widest ranges, but typically you want to be above that 58, like a 58 to 61, I believe is 58 to 62. I want to say that's pretty much the prime time for 14C, and I believe it's going to do very well. That's where it retains its toughness, keeps its corrosion resistance, and is able to be sharpened very easily at that point, which 14C is, in my opinion, the best steel that you can get for under $100. You guys will have to let me know. What do you think of the giant silkworm here? What do you think of Harnds and the value that they offer to the knife community? I think it's awesome that they are doing these types of knives at the price point, and my hope for them is they make some minute changes that'll take their knives to that next level, and I hope we continue to see more and more models from them because they really got a good solid foundation with the ones I've checked out, and I hope they keep it up because it's just awesome for the knife world. It's knives like these in this price point that get new people into the community every single day. And we need knives like this. We need good, affordable knives like this. That way you can get a reliable, affordable knife that you can use and beat on, and it's going to hold up. Knives like this to get people into the community. We need them. And that's just a simple fact. We need good knives at good prices for a lot of different reasons. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. If you're new here, we release videos just like this one every single day. Hit the subscribe button, ring the little bell. I would love to have you here. Otherwise, guys, I'll throw up a couple of new videos here, and here. Go check one of them out. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you for watching. I will catch you on the next one.